In this module, we are going to go through the content creation on TurningPoint Web. So we are once again back at instructor.turningtechnologies.com, and we are in one of our courses. So in this case, I'm in clickers, and we are in our content tab here. Now you're going to see some content that I've already created, but we're going to actually go through this step by step. So one of the things I'm going to do first is I'm going to create a folder for my content. So I'm going to click the create folder, and we can create any name that we want here. So I'm going to call this one Clicker Training and click create. We will see a new folder here called Clicker Training, and I'm going to go into that folder. And you're going to see that I have no content here right now. Now, the nice thing with your content is your content will go through your entire course, not just the one that we are currently in. So I'm going to go to Create Content, and we're going to call this one Test 1 and click Create. So from here, we have our first poll. You see we have currently 0 questions for 0 points. In the upper right hand corner, we have our Create button. So we're going to click Create. When we click Create, it's going to default to an anonymous or a multiple choice question. Here we can enter our question text. How will you use TurningPoint in your course? And our first choice here is going to be feedback. Our second choice is going to be basic polling. We're going to say quizzing. And we could go on and add more. Now, if we wanted to mark one of these as correct, we could just toggle our correct button here. Actually, I'm going to toggle all of these correct. We can choose over here in our options to have an anonymous response. The anonymous response will give the students the ability to respond with the knowledge that their identity is not linked to the answer. So we can assign points. We can allow multiple responses. So you can say choose as many as you want. And then if you're doing this as a scheduled session, which we'll get into scheduled sessions here in a later module, you can actually have them explain their answers. So it will give them some additional text ability to explain their answers. So I'm going to save this question. So we've got our first question. Now, we can go back up to our Create button here to create another one. We do have this Add button here. Now, when we click the Add button here, it's going to give us our question choices. That's the same as if we would click the drop down up here. So, our question choices that we have in the web version of TurningPoint are multiple choice, short answer, numeric response, and hotspot. We're going to look at each of these. Plus, we can upload content. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a short answer. So this is a standard short answer type question. And it gives us the ability to enter our answers here. So with this, we can actually say what answers are correct. In this case, there is no correct answer, and I'm not going to worry about points for this one. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save. We're going to add a numeric response, and we will say how. And once again, there is no correct answer for this. If we wanted to, we could put the correct answer. the nice feature with a numeric response is we can actually say a value range. So that would give us a minimum to a maximum range. So you can use this to put in that information. And our last question type is a hotspot question type. In the hotspot question type, we actually get to upload an image to be able to be part of the question. So we're going to click on upload image, and we're going to click this upload. Over here, I have a map of the University of Tennessee campus, so I'm going to go ahead and select that. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit, and we're going to add a hotspot here. Now the hotspot feature is quite nice, and I'm actually going to select Neyland Stadium here. Just that, and I'm going to do it like this, just to show you guys this. So we can add a hotspot there, but I can actually add multiple hotspots to it. So if I have an oddly shaped region, I can actually add multiple hotspots to it so that I can make sure I cover the entire section that I want to. So in this case, I'm going to add about 4 here just to make sure that I have all of Neyland covered there pretty well. And we're going to go ahead and say upload. And so now what we have is we have our question, and we've got our image, so we can actually enter text to go along with it. And we'll say, where do we play football? And we're actually going to give this one a point value here, and we're going to click save. So now we have our 4 basic question types. And if we go back in here, we'll see our image slowly pop up here. Now, like I said, we have some other content type that we can add. We can actually upload or put in text or upload a PowerPoint. If we click upload a PowerPoint, it's going to prompt us here that our slides will be converted to images. So they're going to be non-interactive images. So if you have animation or if you have a video playing in your PowerPoint, it will not go up here. But if we go ahead and click continue, and I change this to a PowerPoint presentation, it will take just a second, and it'll say your PowerPoint presentation is uploading, and this can take a minute depending on the size of your PowerPoint. Once it has finished uploading, we can scroll down the page and you can see all of our slides in here from our PowerPoint. Now, the nice thing is we can go in between any of these and add questions as we want. Now, these are images, so we cannot edit these once they're up here. Now, if I wanted to, I can go in here and delete it. If I go into my edit page, this is just an image. So we could replace it, but we can't edit any of the content on that page. So the other thing that we can do is we can add text. Now, this is a text box similar to what we see with the questions, and I want to dive into some of the features in here right quick. We have the ability to do basic text editing on it. We have bold, italics, standards there. We can import images in here outside of the PowerPoint import if we want to just put an image in there to ask questions about or have someone study some information on it. We can do that. We can embed videos here, so you can actually put a video up here and then ask questions on it at a later date or at a later point in the quiz here. You do have the ability to adjust your text color and your background color, your basic formatting, how your information is set up. You can do your standard paragraphs, headings, that type of information. You can hyperlink in here. It does have the ability to do bullets and numbered lists. You do have some basic math functions for subscripts and superscripts. You can do emojis and symbols. You can insert tables. You do have a few other features over here of preview of how it looks so that you can actually get an idea of what it's going to look like to your students. So if I click insert media just to show you guys an example, it's going to ask you for the source. So this media needs to already be uploaded on the internet someplace, whether it's YouTube or Canvas or some source like that. You do need a ability of where to point this information to. I'm going to click cancel. I'm going to cancel out of this one. So there we go. We have created our first content. Now the nice thing about this is I can go out here. It'll take a second to look at this. It now is showing 4 questions, 2 points. If I go out here, it'll say 9 questions. So the difference here is in the manage, this questions is only looking at the actual question slides here. When we look at this information out here where it says 9 questions, this is actually looking at the overall slides in it. So it's seeing our 4 questions plus our multiple PowerPoint slides that we have in it. So in a later video, we're actually going to show how to deliver this content live in a class, or we can schedule it for later.